conservatives claim to like low taxes. I could lower your taxes dramatically through a basic income. Do it through a Tobin tax, you're going to see crime practically disappear overnight virtually. Okay? But then the money lending business, I mean, there's going to be far fewer loans being made out to desperate people needing, check cashing and payday loans and all this crap. So they're going to say, well, how's that good for me? You end poverty by a basic income, and it's good. It doesn't hurt the people you're taking it from. It's a Tobin tax, and the resources belong to everybody, so they're God's resources ultimately. And if God says, yeah, Tobin tax is approved. So you have a cost, you have a basic income where nobody's living in fear of meeting their basic needs, food, shelter, energy needs, and, drinkable water. You understand how paradigm shifting that is, but what a departure it is and how radical it sounds, but really it's fiscally conservative. So anybody that professes conservatism, they've got to be confronted with that truth. They've got to be. They can't just squirm away from it. Guys like Ted Nugent, you got to be honest, man. I'm a conservative. I'm a fiscal conservative. And I'm a true capitalist. And I know how to define progress relative to true capitalism. Okay? My money does not go down in worth forevermore. That's unsustainable. That's untenable. That's insufferable. And anybody with two brain cells to rub together can figure out where that's going to lead. And it's not a pretty picture of society. And we're all getting our fair share of suffering through osmosis because God made it that way as a fail-safe, that we are inextricably interconnected. Okay? So that's the way it is. And you got to face the truth, face the music, smell the coffee, smell, in this case, the rotten pile of dog crap. That is what America's become. We've got no right to call ourselves a Christian nation anymore until we turn this ship of fools around and get off this trajectory of death and destruction toward life and healing. Okay? So that's my admonishment to the world, is just fight the good fight. Do your share and just pray to God that you're found worthy and deserving of inheriting a better world at the end of your days. Okay? Because I believe in eternal life, and I know that eternity is comprised of but a series of moments. That's all any of us can be promised, is this moment right now, the moment you have, and it's going to go on. So embrace reality, as severe and harsh as it may seem, as sobering as it is. It's the best hope you have of extricating yourself and your brother and sister who you care about from this mess, this muck and mire of madness, these muddied and bloodied waters. All right. I'm going to go on to some more of the current recent events and talking points that I have made notes of over this last week. Corrections, I just write a bunch of notes about stuff I want to talk about. News stories I thought were interesting that I wanted to comment on, that kind of stuff. Oh, Alec Baldwin was humiliated, by getting into a fight over a parking space. Can you imagine a guy worth, God knows how many millions of bucks is going to fight over a parking space? Human nature. If anybody saw that clip of that China bus crash off the bridge when the bus driver was attacked by that woman, pretty crazy stuff. Human nature, huh? The migrants are looking a lot skinnier in this caravan. That's for some cause of concern. I said that, after watching this episode of Forensic Files, I thought, wow, this could have been my daughters. I think to myself, you know what? How few daughters would ever do that to their dads? I mean, most daughters are gaga over their dads. So, the idea of my daughters ever poisoning me is completely absurd and out of the question. But you get the point, is that sometimes you never know. And that's why really, at the end of the day, we can only really have faith in God, trust in God. I mean, you never know who in your family is going to go insane. I mean, I like to think that's, out of the realm of possibility with me because, I'm a devout pacifist and I really believe that way. Perception is reality and all that. And, I'm not a coward, though. I know that I have the potential to, harm somebody in the name of defending the innocents, women, children, and myself. But I certainly hate violence. And, so there's no way I'm ever going to be the guy that turns into a killer, an offensive killer. Hatred does not possess me like that. I don't allow it to. We all have to choose to be the people we want to be. So, and decide what things we would do and what things we will not do. Our own boundaries that we talk over with God, our owner, our divine parents. We saw that the Los Angeles school teacher, that the violent outburst in Maywood, California. Of course, my grandmother brought my mother up. My mother was born in that area, East LA. But it's really something that all the teachers are sticking up for this teacher losing his cool, to say the least. I can't defend what that guy did. I mean, no matter what that punk kid said, if he didn't, I guess he did assault the teacher. I can't remember how, but he did something to really provoke the guy physically. But still, I'm not going to punch a teenager. And me, last week, I want to apologize to everybody. I kind of let my dog off the leash a bit more than I'm comfortable with and got a little bit overly passionate. And sometimes it just all comes out because I don't cry much anymore these days, but I used to cry more often, and probably I could use a good cry, but I haven't. So some of this stuff, unbeknownst to me, gets repressed on a semi-conscious level, perhaps. That's what's going on here. I love my coffee and cigarettes, I'll be straight up with you, but I do apologize because I just want everybody to like me. I really would like to be the nicest guy you ever met, but I'm far from it. In my mind, I like so many more people. I like people. I really do. And I really, really respect, love, like all those that are intellectually honest. I don't care who you are, what your status is in society. Man, if you're intellectually honest, you're a dishwasher in a restaurant, man, I love you. I admire you. I respect you. I adore you. Okay? I revere your friendship. I don't care who you are. But just be intellectually honest. You don't have to have done good scholastically in school or anything. So many people that dropped out of high school are amazingly intelligent. This Stan Meyer that invented the water car, he had dropped out of college. Okay, so this is no litmus test. Having a high degree of schooling is no litmus test for intelligence. And people got to think about stuff. What if everybody had a PhD in their chosen field of interest? Are we all going to be able to make couple hundred thousand a year? Hey, maybe that is the way to level the playing field. But are there jobs in that? I mean, down in Vegas, I remember back in about 2003 when I was living down there, the attorneys were an inch thick in the phone book. You know how much those ads, 2-page ads, cost? Can everybody on earth be an attorney? How would that work if we all just, or money lenders? Let's say we were all just bent, determined. No, I don't care what you could say, try to dissuade me from being a money lender, but no, that's what and everybody said the same thing. I'm going to be the money lender. I'm not going to be subservient to those that lend money. So I'm not going to be a borrower. I'm going to be the guy that profits from lending. So everybody said that. You understand how paradigm altering, I'm trying to invoke thought in people, provoke thought, inspire thought in people. Okay? Can we all be like pro baseball players? Let's say everybody on earth was determined to be a pro baseball player. And that's it. There's no other course of life for me. I'm determined. That's it, man. No other way. You see? People got to think about these things. And all those jobs being done by people, and then they're looked down upon, they're marginalized and subjugated and told, oh, your job, it lacks skill. Anybody could be a farm worker. You shouldn't get paid fair. You don't need a living wage. It should be high school kids, and it's your fault, if you don't, learn something else, do something different. that you're not making fair money. It's always, it's always their fault for not, having these lowly positions. Never thinking that these jobs are indispensable to the welfare of the society. They're imperative to the welfare of society. So many of these minimum wage jobs, you understand how evil we are at large? People are evil at large. Their hearts are evil. So we got all these mini elitists out there because